Hi everyone, this is Lori from My Garden in Bloom. I'm up here by Mount Hood in Oregon in Zone 8B. I'm going to be planting up some of my ranunculus today. I've soaked them, I've put them in the dirt, and they're pre-sprouting is the stage they're at. But some of them are really, they're to the point that they need to be put outside. I don't have a hoop house or anything like that. So I'm going to put them in pots so that I can actually bring them and put them up on the porch. And then probably in about 3 weeks, if we don't have any more frost and stuff like that, I might end up taking them and putting them out into the flower bed. I have about 30. I bought a package of 3 just because I wanted to try them in front of a grocery store, and those actually ended up being the best corms that I got. And then around in December, I was, sitting on the internet and looking at bulbs and stuff like that, and I saw that they had some really good sale on some. So I think I got like 30 of them for $5, and then shipping and handling. So it was less than $10 for the whole group of them. And those corms are smaller. They're not as big as the one that I got from the box store, but they still all sprouted. They're all really nice. I didn't have any problem with any mold. I took a tray that I had gotten from the dollar store, and I put in 2 inches of, it was a mix of potting soil and seed starter. I put that on the bottom 2 inches, and then I placed them with the corm, the pointy part down, and then I put about 1 inch of potting soil and the mix that I had on top of that. And they said 14 days, but actually I've had a lot of them just grow. I mean, the roots, some of them are 2-3 inches long. They've sprouted on the top, so now I need to put them into some kind of dirt. They can't continue to stay out in that tray. I have them underneath our boat out in the garage in the dark. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to go ahead and pot them up. It's a beautiful, beautiful sunshiny day today. So I'm actually going to do that outside on our back porch table. And I'll show you some of my sprouts that I have. I don't have seed trays, but I've started things. I guess you call it the winter sowing method when you put them in a milk jug. I've done several of those. My larkspur are doing really good. And then my stock, and I have daisies. I have quite a few things out there that are doing really well. I've had a couple of things that haven't turned out the way that I wanted them to. I've tried to start some dahlia seeds that I had gathered the dahlia seeds from my dahlias that grew in my yard, and I'm trying another method because the first thing that I tried didn't work at all. They turned into mush. They never sprouted. So I'm going to try a different method. Of course, all of my methods that I use to try to grow plants, most of them come off of YouTube, off the internet. And you can see that some of my daffodils have bloomed. That was my first bouquet of daffodils. Oh, they're just beautiful. Look at that, and they smell so good. I was sitting in the living room, or in the family room this morning, and all of a sudden I got the smell all the way across the house from those daffodils. They just smell delicious. We are in the middle of a kitchen remodel, so that has taken up part of my time doing that. I was painting this morning. We're sitting around waiting for the countertops to show up. And then we'll get the floors done after that, and we're going to do the backsplash. We've tried to do as much of it as we can do on our own, and that's been a lot of fun doing that. Anyway, I'm going to go get the corms, the sprouted corms, set up out on the porch, and we'll get started on getting these into some, not their permanent place that they're going to be, but the next step, I would say, the next step for them being able to grow. So I will get that all set up and talk to you soon. Okay, here we are out on the back porch. I only have like about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pots. Most of these have sprouted up. Look at that one. Oh my goodness, look at that one. See why I'm saying that I couldn't wait any longer? It is a little bit windy today, so I hope the wind doesn't get to the camera and make noise. So I'm going to pull these up. These are the 3 on this side are the 3 that I was telling you about, that they did the best and they were the biggest. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I've never grown them before. I have not grown ranunculus before. I think that's a pretty good start right there. Okay, what I read or what I saw on YouTube is that when you go to replant them from they're being pre-sprouted here, you want to put them in here, you want to put about an inch of dirt. So I'll just kind of cover up everything there. I have pre-moistened soil. You don't ever want to put dry soil in when you plant your plants. You want to pre-moisten it, but you don't want to get, there's a fine line there between too much moisture and not enough. So you want it to be like this, where it'll stay together, but there's not any water running out. So that, and I'm a typical gardener. I hardly ever wear gloves. I like the feeling of the dirt in my fingers. So here we go. And when I put the dirt in this pot, I tapped it down before I put the plant in there, the sprout. So there's the first one. There's enough moisture in the dirt. I'm not going to put any more moisture in it until after I see these sprouting up. Now see, that was remember I said that I had gotten 3 from a big box store, just out for the grocery store? That's what these are. Then I had ordered some from online that they were trying to get them sold out. That's what these are. And the ones from the big box store where there were just 3 of them in a package, and it was a little under $3. So I paid just a little under $3 a piece. Those are the ones that actually are the best looking of the plants. There's another one. I definitely want to get these big ones planted. Stuck together. I know you can pull them apart. When I have hands free, I'll pull those apart. So that's what I'm doing today. Now I said I was going to show you some of my starts. Here they are. See how good the larkspur are doing? I have had more success using this method, which is the winter sowing method, where you put them into a milk jug, and then I've transplanted them because they've gotten some of their true leaves. This one's actually working on getting its second row of true leaves. This one too. And you know what I think that this is? I thought it was a tomato plant at first, but I think it was some kind of like an oak tree sprout. I think I'll take that out of there. It's not doing very good. And let's see. There's one other one. Oh, here, just daisies. I'm going to plant up some more of these daisies in groups of 5 or 6, and then I'll probably just plant that whole pot in one area. And I'm hoping to have, there they are, I'm hoping to have 5 or 6 different little areas in my garden that have daisies in them, Shasta daisies. And there are the stalks. They're doing really good. They're just starting to get their first true leaves on them. And this, I don't know what that is. You know what I think it might be? I have a delphinium that I got some seeds, and that's the only one. I planted those in there, and that's the only one that sprouted. So I think I only had one viable seed out of the group, but I'm excited. I'm gonna keep working on that one to see what it is. These are some snapdragons, just from seeds that I had from my garden. That I started from my garden. I do have some other varieties. Madam Butterfly, I think ivory, and some lavender Potomac. So I'm excited about those, getting those started too. I might wait a couple of weeks. I have some more things that I'm going to get started. I saved a lot of my seeds from last year. Anyway, here is what I'm doing today. I just didn't think that I could leave these in that starting tray anymore. And all it is a tray from the dollar store. I didn't go out and buy anything expensive to put them in, and it has worked perfect. One of the things is they want for 2 weeks, and they're 12 days old. They didn't quite get 2 weeks old, but you have them around 60 degrees and in a dark place. So I had them in my garage and underneath the boat. So when the garage door did get open, they were still kind of in the dark. Anyway, they just loved it there. No mold on any of them. They all sprouted, all grew. I'm so excited to see them grow in the pot and bloom, and then plant them out in my garden. I'll probably plant them like in groups of 3 and 5. Anyway, that was my project today. I'm so glad that you came here to step through this process with me. I hope the information that I gave you helps you out. I hope you have a wonderful day. There's our sunshiny day. This is Oregon, and it is March. So actually, this is a beautiful day for March in Oregon. Things are starting to grow a little bit, but they still have a ways to go. There's one of my flower beds. I have some lilies coming up. I have delphiniums coming up. My irises that I transplanted. Oh, a little hydrangea that I bought last year. This will be its second year for being here, but I'm sure it's probably 3 years old. I'm sure when I bought it, it was probably a year old. And I had this pot here that I really like. It has a lot of fall planting stuff, so I'm probably just going to add a couple of little things as my stuff grows. I'll fill in there. This was a Rebecca, and I tried to start some of the seeds that I got earlier in the fall, and they didn't take. That was one of my failures, but they didn't take, so I don't think that plant. I'm hoping that there's some green down there. They are perennial, so I should be able to plant it out in the flower bed. I have a couple of other that I had grown, started them in pots like in the fall, and then transferred them out into the garden the next year. Anyway, there it is. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I'm going to continue to work on getting these planted up. Enjoy the sunshine. Spring is almost here. Bye-bye. I was talking about pre-moistening your soil before you put it in the pot for the ranunculus. So here is just your regular potting soil. In fact, I think it's probably Miracle Grow. A little bit of water. Still not quite moist enough. You don't want to add all the water at once and then end up having too much. Anyway, that is how I pre-moisten the soil in our laundry room in the sink. And you want to that's perfect on top. I'm going to need mix up a little bit more in the bottom, but that's perfect. There's not any water coming out, but it's sticking together. That's the pre-moistened soil that I put the ranunculus corms, pre-sprouted corms in. I have 10 of them planted so far and moving on to more. Well, it's been about 4 weeks since I planted my ranunculus corms, where I soaked them and then I put them into a sprouting tray, let them sprout, and then planted them up because they got so big. But it wasn't warm enough yet to plant them out into the flower bed, so I put them into pots. Now there's 3 of them that were just doing a lot better than the other ones were, so I brought those and planted them out into the garden. So let me switch this around. Here they are. Look at that. Those are 3 that are doing really well, so I went ahead and planted them outside. I could still have some frost, some heavy frost. Our last frost date is April 15th. So we have a couple of weeks. It could get cold. I would just come up and cover them up. I do have quite a few things coming up here. I'll give you a little tour of my front flower bed. That is some larkspur that I've grown from seed. I have a whole bunch of them actually, but those are the first ones that I planted out in the flower bed, just kind of seeing how they'll take. I have some daisies there. These are beautiful. They are daylilies, gorgeous last year. Ruby spider lilies is what they are. And then I have yarrow. I have a couple of different things of salvia, and these are some stalks, and I have stock over there too that I started from seed. I have a whole bunch more to plant, and look at that, my peonies are coming up. I'm so excited about that. I have these pansies, but I'm going to go ahead and move them as it gets closer to where I would plant up some border plants. I think that I have some kind of bugs eating on them. Earwigs, probably. I've tried a couple of things to get rid of them, but they're still chowing on them. And there is one of my daisy plants. I moved that because last year I planted it back in that area, and then I planted some teddy bear, sunflowers, and some dahlias, and it got covered up or shadowed. It was in the shadow, so I moved it out here to the front of the bed. So now hopefully it will grow a lot bigger and bloom better this year. That is an aster, and there's some more of my stock, and I'm going to plant some more out there. Then I have a little bed of daffodils and tulips, but look at this daffodil. I don't even remember buying anything that looked like that. Isn't that pretty? Can't wait to see more of them bloom. I have a couple of things. These big daffodils, they've been here forever. They're almost at the end of their life, and then I have some pots, and this stuff is all left over from last fall. I put some stock in there to see how they would do. But aren't those pretty, the little pansies? And then look, beautiful purple pansies, excuse me. Aren't those beautiful? The white ones are beautiful too. Oh, so pretty. So nice to have some color. And here's my Double Delight rose. I've cut it back. I keep fertilizing, and I fertilized it a couple of times, so hopefully that's going to do really good too. So there's a couple of things that I have out in the front flower bed. Starting to plant my ranunculus outside. Like I said, if we did get any cold weather, I would come out and cover it up. But I will just slowly, in the next 2 weeks, keep bringing some more of the ranunculus. And I'm going to go ahead and plant it down along the edge of this flower bed over to where I have some daffodils. They're not going to bloom until May or so. I mean, my ranunculus aren't. And there is our dogwood tree. And I don't know, that's the neighbor's tree up there. I don't know what that tree is. It's so beautiful when it blooms. I can't wait until it blooms. Anyway, I thought I would show you how it's coming along with the ranunculus. I hope everyone's having a great day, and spring it's here. But it is a little bit chilly, especially on the East Coast. But we're not having too bad of weather. Now I am getting things planted out in the flower bed. Hope you have a great day. This is Lori in Zone 8B up by Mount Hood, my garden in bloom.